And here we go, that's gonna be random, and it's gonna be Oasis, which is potentially a map that could be going for a longer time. And what are gonna be the gods then? I haven't really called them all that much. It's gonna be Tompex as Ra, Hero OP as Loki, and Matreus as Zeus, so the same gods they have used in the last game. And for Guisao, that's gonna be Oranos, for Sparks Thor, and for Pisces Zeus. So you can see that Guisao went for a bit different, that he didn't go for the Gaia, so he's not gonna be Slingy this time around. Should be a bit more normal game in Sea Slime, or rather normal standard game. A bit more standard game, and how's it gonna be developing then? They are apparently having zebras right next to them, so it's gonna be of course helpful. We are right now looking at Guisao, who is spawning in the pocket position for his team, as in the corner on the left side there's gonna be Sparks, and on the other corner it's apparently gonna be his teammate, of course, Biscuit, who is having a front gold, even though it's not really that bad, considering that he's having a bit of a wood line at least in front of it, which is gonna be making walling a bit easier, for example with this straggler and whatnot, so it shouldn't be that bad for him. And we, for example, also already see where the TCs are, and then this is apparently gonna be a 2 Oasis. Yeah, there's gonna be just 2 Oases in the middle in there, both of them, and this is kind of interesting TC placement in there, similar to the one at the bottom. All things considered, reasonably useless because has the front TC of the pocket players, but it's kind of aiming for the middle of the map, in which case it might not be that insignificant, because it would at least protect the trade route a bit, because it's gonna be coming all the way across the shoreline of the map on the left side. Well, shoreline, not exactly the correct word in there, but yeah, well, that's what came up for me. And it's gonna be basically the same for the opponent, so it could potentially help defending against some kind of raidings and such. So let's see if the players are gonna be using it properly. In the meantime, of course, a bit of scouting for Piske, who is just looking at the zebras being gathered by Hero OP at the very back, who is playing the Loki. So Loki against Zeus, and on the top side it's gonna be Zeus against Thor. So kind of similar on both sides. And I'm really curious if right now Sparks is gonna be playing differently, because I'm thinking that he is not gonna be slung all that much. He's not gonna be slung because the guy is missing this time around with a good economy and whatnot. And in that case, you could be seeing a bit more standard gameplay for him. Probably from a Thor, we would be expecting plenty of horses to be trying to run around, and that could be, yeah, useful. Could be useful, of course, if he's gonna be joined by some Turmas by the Oranos, which is kinda a given. So of course, Giraffe's gonna be helping. There are gonna be some extras in between him and his teammate, and of course there are gonna be even few more. Somewhere I'm expecting on the right side. So far I'm just seeing double berries. Where are the zebras? Well, zebras we know. I think giraffes though. One lone zebra, some few monkeys, some goatee, and that's about it though. So I don't see really the giraffes, unless they are hidden in there somewhere. For the red player, they are not really gonna be present all that much. As for the yellow one, so far we don't really see them either. Maybe could be hidden somewhere at the back, or maybe the players on the right just didn't spawn them. That could definitely be the case as well, as we are also looking at some extra gold and berries and whatnot. And extra berries, not. These are just some bushes and whatever, not to be eaten all that much, as the giraffes are of course in the middle, and they're gonna be quite useful for Sparks, who is gonna be taking care of them, of course, with the ox cart coming behind as well. So that's looking like pretty okay-ish advanced times for most everybody. Let's look, for example, at the relics. Let's get a... Sorry, can't even speak properly. I'm really tired today. Well, not much of a sleep because of the Olympics and whatnot. But well, buildings LOS is definitely good relic in here, as otherwise at the bottom of the side map it's gonna be wall and the gate costs cheaper, which is of course quite an interesting relic for this map, because you need to wall a whole lot, as if you don't, then you're opening yourself quite needlessly to a lot of trouble. Apparently there are giraffes at the bottom from yellow, or rather for yellow player, as this relic is gonna be for villager wood and gold gather rate, so better economy. Yeah, that's always welcome. So where are actually the giraffes for red? Do we see them yet? Or really not, just 2 lone zebras. I don't really see the giraffes anywhere, just plenty of other animals, but absolutely no giraffes. So it's almost looking like that actually. Oh, he's already on them. They were hidden behind the forest. Okay, I didn't see that, but already Jason did. You can see that Pisca already did scout that with Jason. So he's on top of them. On top of all of them. Having quite plenty of fun trying to kill them as fast as possible. Somewhere in the middle, there's a bit of scouting going on by Guisao, trying to basically discover what's where and what's this, as 4:30 is an advanced time for Matreus with his Hermes. Otherwise, of course, that's gonna be 4:30 for Hero OP, Prometheus for Guisao, as all the rest are gonna be advancing us. Wow. Really? Really, Piske going for restoration. So is this gonna be like some kind of fun game again? Freya for Sparks, and they're advancing kinda late, all of them. They're advancing kinda late. Huh. It seems fairly standard for Guisao. Nothing unusual. But the Athena, that's interesting for Piske, really. I'm not entirely certain what he could be coming for. Is it gonna be like standard Athena rush? Uh-huh, yeah. This is gonna be old school Athena rush. This is gonna be standard old school Athena rush. Basically Athena rush as I was doing it back in the day. 2 military ranges, or other military academies, 2 archery ranges, producing absolutely everything. And it's gonna be of course doubled with the Promethean and with the green player. You can see they're already coming in there. And that's the reason, of course, for the restoration. That's making plenty of sense. And oh man, is he having pickaxe? No, he isn't. I would be expecting that he could be having pickaxe and wood axe. No, not hand axe. For wood, yeah, wood axe, almost the same. As unfortunately right now, Hero OP is scouting, which is of course nicely done, as he will know exactly what is gonna be coming, because Athena, together with all of this, is basically a clear signal what's gonna happen to him. Unfortunately, he's the Loki, and Loki is kind of the hardest to actually Athena rush because of all the mythical units. They are usually quite a pain to actually deal with for the Zeus, so already quite nicely defended in there, having the towers in here, so he should be prepared, but unfortunately the front goal is a problem. And that's also part of the reason why they might have decided to actually go for it, because without the front goal, it's always gonna be pretty hard. And the double is gonna be very real, especially considering that Tompex is in the pocket and he's the Egyptian, and he's going for 2 TC Rabum, and he's not having any kind of army at all. So right now it's gonna be all about Sparks actually keeping his opponent busy so that Matreus cannot help at all, and this is gonna be hefty double. This is gonna be one hell of a hefty double against UCAS, and this is having actually significant chance of succeeding. It really is. It's gonna be all about actually destroying the Hero OP before Tompix is somehow set up. Before he's set up in his heroic age as Dra, and with all his economy and whatnot. Right now, of course, with Rain, this is gonna be slowing things down a bit, as they cannot use restoration for a minute, which is potentially an issue, but he still doesn't have enough hoplites yet, so it's not that much of a problem. But they are gonna be apparently switching into the pocket player, and is it gonna be like... Ooh, it might be a triple. It might be a full-on triple right now on Tompex. Huh. Look at that. Would you look at that? How they are actually thinking on their feet. I'm thinking they were expecting the full-on double on Hero OP, but he's just too well prepared. He's just too well prepared with the watchtowers being defended and whatnot. And the early scouting in there. But the switch into the middle, that is not a bad idea, because that's gonna be full 3 of them. Wadjet is not gonna be important at all. And with the 2 Prometheans, with the Minotaur, and with the Hoppers, yeah, this is gonna be kinda TC down fairly easily. The priest should be maybe trying to help with some of the military units in there, like for example the Prometheans and whatnot. But the TC is gone, which is of course not that much of an issue as it potentially could have been, because Tompix was almost out of the range, so all the economical bonus was more or less his. With right now Matreus going for the ceasefire, that is gonna be helping quite immensely, but it's also a significant god power gone. But it has to be said that since he went for the second TC also, they're gonna be having significant economical advantage UCAS now, and they are basically having a bit of a bumper in that regard. If they can survive, they are gonna be coming out stronger at the end of all this. But it's gonna be still a question of time, because Hero OP right now is trying to basically wall up this part of the map, limit some kind of maneuvering by the opponents. Definitely a good idea for him, as he's gonna be the only one with some kind of meaningful army, as the other allies are just gonna boom in, hoping to get into the next stages and whatnot. So yeah, not really all that significant yet. You can see the advances are not even happening at this point. Okay, so army is still getting stronger. Hoplites definitely getting numerous in there, as even though the barracks are coming up, yeah, well, how many can he actually make in the meantime? Probably quite a lot. right now gone. He's gonna be trying to stop as many of them as he potentially can. He's gonna be stopping one. This one is gonna get finished. So there's gonna be 3 barracks, rather 4 barracks. It's actually quite plenty enough. Quite plenty enough. And right now with the restoration, there's of course gonna be horrible battle that here OP has to retreat from, but the TC is toast. Absolutely toast. So right now Tompix is at least shifting, sending a bit of the army somewhere else. You can see all the way to the bottom in there. That's actually quite a significant portion of the army and 2 mythical units, much more importantly. But still the TC is gone, a bit of the economy as well. And we're gonna be seeing how this is gonna be developing, because at this point, I'm thinking this is already kind of failing for ONUs. I think this is kinda already too late, because the heroic age should be coming up, or actually it doesn't. It seems like the Tompix is fully switching into the land battle. Let's look at his economy. Oh, he probably just now clicked. Or did he? I damn it, I cannot really type anything correctly here. No, he didn't, so he's absolutely out of economy. He invested everything into the classical fighting. So okay, it might be a success in the end then for ONUs, because they are also coming for the second TCs. You can see both Sparks and Guisao are already thinking about it and finishing with that. Even a third TC coming for Sparks, and at this point it's almost looking like the Thor is yet again, impatiently eyeing the Ragnarok. Impatiently eyeing the Ragnarok in here, and they hope that actually that could be closing the game, I'm thinking. And it still could, if it's gonna be reasonable time in about 30 minutes. I'm thinking it could be closing the Ragnarok even without some kind of supreme effects, like upgrades and such. It could still be good enough. As in the meantime, of course, UCAs are gonna be all in 2 TCs, almost. Well, this is very slow. And scouted by Guisa, of course, so potentially a few units are gonna be coming there exactly as they are. As your OP is sending also some reinforcements, but against all those horses, that is most probably not gonna be enough. So this is gonna be stalled quite significantly, and all the units are coming forward through the middle. And this is exactly why it's so important to wall the middle of the map on Oasis. You just have to do it. If you don't, you are opening yourself to exactly this. The enemy pocket sending all the units into basically your base all that easily. So yeah, well, it's their own doing. That's what happened. The TC is down, basically disrupting the 2 TC quite significantly, even though he's having plenty of army right now, as we are looking at a switch a bit more to the south. It seems like they're gonna be switching back to hero OP. It might just not be enough. Because of course the army is getting stronger, and so is for hero OP, as when he finishes with all of these, as he apparently did finish with the horses as well, even though I thought that that should be enough, it apparently wasn't. Yeah, well, they're gonna be having a pretty good chance of making something real happen, but in the meantime, the real thing is happening by Piske, who is actually killing quite plenty villages in there on the gold mine. That's gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6. About 6 villages, maybe even more. Maybe even a few more dead on the gold mine, which is not good news, of course, for the red player. Well, on the left, everything is developing quite alright for Sparks. He seems to be doing a good job on all the regards in there. Not playing bad at all. It seems the economy is going well. He's already playing his part of the map very well, basically protecting the trade that is going to be coming quite inevitably. They should be doing the walling on trade as well. This is not exactly an impenetrable wall. And if they do, then of course they're gonna be having a very nice game. In the meantime, Atreus is switching into medium Hippicons finally having some kind of army in here after a bit of booming in the early game. And those medium Hippicons with the Centaur, well, they could be helping, but they need to be at the correct places, which they so far aren't, as this army from Guisao and Sparks is so far quite strong. The combination of all the Turmas and all the horses is definitely working, and well, it seems like that they might be a bit too late to actually stop this from coming up. Yes, they will be. So unfortunately, that's a misplay. Actually, significant one. Significant misplay by ONUs. They should have basically made sure that this TC is not coming up to basically give the extra economy to Tompex. That is a misplay. The TC at the back has finished as well, but there was not much they could have done about that. But they still could be doing a whole lot of raiding all across the map, and that's exactly what they're attempting to do, as there was even probably an attempt to steal the TC from Matreus. But Matreus himself is actually interested in a TC as well, without, of course. This is another interesting thing, because we are out of the ceasefire. Enemy didn't have ceasefire. So right now, all the Norses are gonna be having free flaming weapons. Free flaming weapons for everybody. Interesting. So that might be still some kind of choice by the Thor to actually come for Skadi. That might not be the worst kind of idea. It might not be the worst kind of idea. He can go for Scuddy, right? Or, yes, he can go for Scuddy. I remember it correctly for a moment, thinking that maybe not. But yeah, he can go for Scuddy. That could be pretty good counter god power against the potential flaming weapons. That could definitely be working for him. But he needs to be, of course, having a whole lot more army than this if he wants to make some kind of attempt on the front TC of materials, who is gonna be at 3 without all that much of an issue. And it seems that all of those Hippicons, being in mediums, are coming into full strength, and they're gonna be probably helping quite significantly stabilizing the situation for his team. In the meantime, plenty of Turmas from Guisao still very much alive with Piske's extra army, trying to get through the wall in and whatnot, trying to control the opponents, and Raiden as well, as they're apparently gonna be trying to control the front TC of Hero OP. And well, in the meantime, he did take the front one, which is helping out all of those villagers, but there is also a spy on them, which is resulting into exactly this Raiden. So Piske quite slow to react, actually notice that he's been raided. And they are kind of being sent in all the directions, so that's gonna be also resulting in heavy losses. So basically similar losses that were suffered by red on this gold mine are right now being suffered by yellow, and that means that they are gonna be more or less equal. Well, in the meantime, of course, there's gonna be army switching a whole lot to the left. So they're kind of giving up on the right side, and it's gonna be all up to Biscuit to somehow survive that part of the map. As in here, it's gonna be the double horses yet again single horses, and that could be working. But in the meantime, we mustn't forget that since Tompex was able to retake the second TC and also a third one, he is right now fully in. He's right now fully in there, and even reinforcing the position and placing all those many resources into some kind of army production, and it's not really how bad already. You can see the mediums on both of them. That's definitely gonna be plenty strong with all the Harriers from here OP coming into the fun as well. That should be quite plenty against an upgraded army. You can see these are just normal Toxotai, and the hoplits are mediums. Yes, they at least are mediums, so that's better than nothing. But of course the unupgraded Toxotai, I think, are a bit of a shame. Which all this army should be getting rid of. But we also need to switch to the left side, where a big battle is right now happening, and a pretty important battle, because how's it looking? Those Turmas could be getting rid of all the army, which is not really that huge. Oh well, right now the Mythical Age, that's a problem for Onus, of course, because otherwise the horses could have been some kind of good idea to get rid of the town center that is gonna be researched into Fortify, and well, yeah, that's not gonna happen anymore, which is gonna result in pretty tough moments, because of course fighting against a mythical Zeus, that's always gonna be very hard for the Thor, without Ragnarok of course, as he's just now getting into Balder though. So Balder is coming up, Hathor, Bragi, all the upgrades are coming. So the Ragnarok is coming as well. The end of the world is gonna be here soon. The end of the world is nigh, most definitely. So that's gonna be iron shields, bronze, and bronze. Gonna be plenty of upgrades for him. So that's yet again gonna be quite deadly Ragnarok. And if he's gonna be having sufficient backing, which he probably will be, because you can see medium raiders are already getting upgrades right now into iron shields in here. With all the army from Guisao, that's probably gonna be quite challenging for Materials to deal with. And he might need all the assistance that he can potentially get from the blue player, who is somehow finding his way into the middle of the enemy economy. And coming with Hathor in here as well. Well, that's a probably result of actually trying to follow up with Hero OP and trying to raid on the gold and maybe even on the TC here for a bit. But of course with all the army from yellow, that's not really such a clever idea at this point. Even though it's at least buying time. It's buying time to Hero OP. So Hero OP is gonna be at 3 TCs in reasonable timing, and with all the military buildings very nicely placed by Tompix being quite close by to the enemy at this point, it's looking very dire for Onus at this point, to be honest. Even though the Ragnarok is gonna be very strong indeed, especially with all the army in there. The Mythical Zeus is an issue, and he's gonna be very well prepared. You can see already the medium Toxotai coming up, even though not any extra upgrades are there. The Hippaspits are also gonna be there, and they're gonna be slowing the tide significantly so, even against the basically almost full upgrade. You can see bronze, bronze, iron, and is there something else? Yes, iron mail is coming up, and so is of course dragon scale shields, or rather so are dragon scale shields. So that's gonna be one hell of an attack. Okay, so potentially attack on the TC, like basically just trying to deny the economy all around it. Also with the gold, not a bad idea. It's gonna be quite annoying for the red player, who is gonna be forced to send plenty of units in there. He has just finished with the third one, and he's trying to attack the one with in the front from Pisket by the boar, and otherwise he's also raiding quite significantly in the middle, trying to kill a citizen here. But he is much more importantly just trying to scout and see if maybe he could be dropping a few military buildings here and there. So yeah, that's the main reason why he's doing that. In the meantime, Turmas are getting the upgrade into heavies. Into heavy Turmas. How are their upgrades? Nothing. Nothing. For Mateusz also nothing, as he's probably waiting for Fortune Falling Plus, I would be expecting. Yeah, right now he's getting all the coppers and whatnot. With Hero P coming into hell. Apollo for Piske. Interesting. And Heroes of Ragnarok, of course, coming all the way to the right side, which is probably gonna be resulting into this TC being there, or maybe just the main one. But the main one is gonna be already guarded by all of those towers and whatnot. You can see that even he's building some extras in there. Please don't drop. Please don't drop. And the hell, yeah, she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine. This is not gonna be done in half a minute. So unfortunately, it seems like another drop. Yeah, at this point, this is looking like a drop. With Tompix building himself also on the left side, because it seems that he will be there for I don't know what. Don't know exactly what. And when you see the Woobley drop, this is a reaction to actually your connection dropping. Yeah, Woobley is just not all that. How is it called? It's not really going to be giving you extra help, unfortunately. That's how it is coded. But the drop is always a result of your own connection being unstable and dropping. So the initial cause is your connection, but yeah. Not entirely certain why it's that way with Woobley, why it isn't coded a bit differently. But anyway, it's still the best client, so who are we to complain? But since it's dropped, we are probably gonna be coming out of the game. I'm just gonna be checking and restoring. There we go then. We are back. There is finally some walling coming up in the middle by Sparks. That's something that was missing there altogether. But he's also with plenty of Heroes of Ragnarok coming to the right side of the battle, where he probably is aiming for the middle, I'm thinking. He's of course gonna be having uncontested flaming weapons in here, because the ceasefire for UCA is gone, and for ONU they didn't even go for it. So the enemy ceasefire is not even present. And for Hero OP, flaming weapons are also gonna be very much there. And how is it looking with the army? Plenty of army here, but not really enough. Not really enough. He's having just the TC, and potentially this could be quite deadly, but I'm not thinking. I'm kind of halfway thinking maybe Sparks could have slightly underestimated this. Maybe that just was the army that he was having the closest from the gold or whatnot, and he's gonna be sending this one there as well. It seems that he will be. But that army could also be useful in the middle in here, because of course, you mustn't forget that Tompix is gonna be joining with Mateusz. And Mateusz already as the Mythical Zeus, even though he is still missing the upgrades, even though he is already working on them, he's gonna be quite a problem for Sparks, and it's almost looking like the Sparks might be looking at it a bit more like some kind of all-in. And if this doesn't work out, then kind of goodbye. And I was saying that the hell is gonna be safe. This is gonna be a lot closer than I actually imagined at the start. Oh, come on. Come on. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh. Oh, well, flaming weapons screwed him over. No help for you. Oh, that's that sucks for Hero P. That sucks for him, but very good catch by Sparks, which he had absolutely no idea about. Just got lucky, of course. But yeah, that does suck. That does suck big time. And where is actually I just missed where was discussed by Tompex. Ah, here. Yeah, it was just killing. It was killing not really the villages, it was killing farms. There was plenty of farms. And that's a very good usage, of course, because it slows down the economy of the enemy significantly. And rebuilding farms is not exactly cheap. It takes plenty of resources, so it's not like you can do it a whole lot easily. So that is that. It seems like that this defense seems to be working, but with the upgrades slowly coming up, Mateusz is gonna be more dangerous by the minute. And especially with the assistance potentially by Tompix in there, it could be even a bit more than they can handle in full. Right now though, Tompix is gonna be losing the situation on the right because of all the heroes of Ragnarok, with Guisao even coming for the Titan already, and with Osiris being a research for Tompex, there is probably not any kind of useful god power, only potentially for Matreus Underworld Passage that could be helping. There is gonna be a sec boss, yeah, well, unfortunate, but yeah, you're the one who needs to leave soon, so I kinda guess he's not gonna be pausing for nothing. That's the logic behind that, but the CC being gone, it's gonna be health switched somewhere else, for example here at the bottom, or rather at the top. So 1 minute later, that makes plenty of difference. That does make plenty of difference actually. And that really does. So here we are, as we are continuing with the battle. Of course, all those heroes of Ragnarok are gonna be just absolutely slaughtered because of the archers. That are actually Pisces! Oh! Brain fart, sorry. This is actually support, so they're not gonna die all that easily. But Underworld Passages on both sides, of course, this is gonna be both fight over the Titan. Alright, that's something we like. Fight for the Titan is happening right now, not any kind of extra useful god powers that could be used. With Hippaspis, not a bad choice, but this is gonna be just Petsuchos. But the Helepoli, yeah, the Helepoli are gonna be the end of the Underworld, or rather, of the Titan Gate. That's gonna be the end of the Titan Gate, but at least what it did is actually lure an Underworld Passage from the opponents, and even though it did lure them, it lure one from Pisky as well. I'm thinking this is a bit more important because Matreus is kinda dangerous at this point, and if he could transport himself anywhere, the question is if they can even get rid of this. This is still a very much a live question here. Probably can. And then it could be quite a significant issue. You could get it somewhere here, for example. I think that would be pretty problematic. But yeah, well, with the Underworld Passage being right next to the battlefield in here, you can see that Piska is able to hold yet again against this TC and also come back and help himself a bit in there. Piska has lost the TC. That was through the middle, where Tompix is pushing forward through his mythical age, trying to get the TC for himself, and of course it's gonna be fairly easy because all the army is right now concentrating in here at the top, fighting against Hero OP, and that means that Tompix is basically free to do whatever he wants. On the left battlefield there is no army from Sparks, but there is plenty of army from Guisao, who is the one who is actually fighting the battle here for his purple teammate, which is nice teamwork overall, heavy archive. Fortunately, absolutely no upgrades whatsoever on the rest, but same could be said for the opponent. He's having a lot of Helepoi, which is helping, of course, against Arkai and Turmas, but otherwise he's having just medium Toxotai and, well, Hephaspis are at least champion, and the upgrades already getting on the iron, so yes, right now it's gonna be playing a whole lot of role, and that should be resulting into Matreus having an upper hand. So, like, are we gonna be restoring again? Come on. Fix your connections, guys. Fix your connections. Unfortunate, but it seems like we're gonna be restoring for the second time or not. Oh well, the game survived. I hope that everybody is in. You can see Matreus is apparently having issues this time around. So the army is still alive as far as those units go. But of course with Hero OP still being present as well with good army. Those are not really all that important. They're not all that important in there, as 45 TC has been lost for Sparks at the top. That's something that we have seen quite easily, and there's not really all that much of an army to be had for ONU to actually stop all of this. They're having plenty of archers, and on top of that they're having a few fire giants, so of course Son of Osiris, goodbye all the mythical units, and Helepoli, they just tank so much damage from all of those archers and whatnot that it's not really all that easy for them to get rid of all of those traveling cities, of course. Of course, Tompix finishing with the Migdol. He's probably gonna be trying to take the TC as well. He seems to be quite close by and like-minded to that. In the meantime, of course, the TC in the middle hasn't been finished. So that was one that Tompix was coming for, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to do that fully. He only could basically drop the Migdol in there, which is already a bit of an issue for, of course, Onus. But yeah, well, those heroes of Ragnarok still remaining are apparently quite enough to get rid of that at this point. But we're getting into a bit of a late game, and it's probably gonna be right now attack coming from Ukas. And yes, Onus are right now recognizing that this is not gonna be coming for them, and Ukas, the Uncrapables, are gonna be advancing into the semifinals. So congratulations, we have seen very good games, very good all three games, and they deservedly advance forward in here. This time, well, on the standard map. Yeah, well, Onus unfortunately didn't choose the correct strategy in there. They just didn't. And their opponents were able to withstand that and do the correct things at the correct times. Well, nicely done. As we are just waiting basically for Piske to resign as well, as he's still having a bit of fight against Hero OP in there, having a bit of fun with his Nidhogg. But I'm kind of thinking that as soon as Nidhogg, who is, of course, not Piske's, but is, of course, Hero OP's, not even false, as he's ready to breathe some extra fire on the opponents. Yep, that's that. It's gonna be a GG. And Ukas are gonna be advancing forward. Onus, after very brave and very good fight, are eliminated from the playoffs, but even advancing into the playoffs, that's a pretty great achievement, so congrats on that. Congrats on that. Was an interesting strategy to actually even switch into Tompex in there, but I kind of think they made a mistake by allowing him to actually go back on the second TC. That shouldn't have happened. And at the same time, it was a very nice reaction by Tompex through the ceasefire. During the ceasefire, making all of those barracks, that definitely helped him defend against everything that was coming at him. Okay, let's check into the post game. That's gonna be, of course, confirmation of what we have seen with Matreus having the best score. He was important in the game, but overall, I really liked in all three games how Sparks played his Thor. That was very well done. Even though in the previous games he was having help by some slinging, here he didn't, I think. Yeah, not really much. Not really much at all. And that is definitely a way how to play the God. In the economy, well, nothing that interesting in here either. Everybody having quite nice eco. Tom picks the best. That would be expected from an Egyptian, who is advancing into Heroic Age quite soon. As for the army efficiency, yeah, something unusual. Military count 225 against 181. Not much efficiency right now for Matreus, but it's not like he needed it all that much. And at the same time, he was, of course, facing part of the Ragnarok. Well, GG. And congrats on the advance, Ukas.